Today, obviously, Chris got his torque bits, so we're gonna be taking out the back seat and whatever else he's doing. He may start doing some body work on this fender. That way we can get that wrapped and complete the rest of the car. Over here, you can see a little bit of prep work. Yeah, and then all these little things too, unless you're just gonna try and blast through them.
I'm gonna grind every one of these for the most part, all the bad ones.
We're gonna have to grind a weld anyways. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-weld 1-inch speeds, 1 inches apart, so it'd be decent all around here.
So just basically re-stitch weld everything.
Re-stitch weld everything, and then stitch weld down frame rails, up the sides of the wheel wells.
Yeah, and then obviously we're gonna clean all this
off just because that was for fucking shits and giggles.
Yeah.
And then next week I should have my tubes, the tube front. My buddy Dale, he's a pipe fitter, pipe guy, cage builder. He said he's going to take some measurements today. I'm going to send them to him, and he's going to make a main hoop that'll swing the whole front, and then he's going to bend up some frame roll vertical uprights for the frame. So tube front should be done in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then I was saying this is all going to get cleaned up too. Yeah, this is just the kind of the just for now because we had to hack it up to try and get the motor out and all that, and then this was just kind of a generic, just kind of cut stuff off.
Plates here, box that off, do another one up top just to strengthen it, maybe one on the bottom, who knows, and then another plate on this rail, strengthen these up a little bit just to strengthen up the chassis and the steering, and kind of that's it, and then just build the tube front off that.
So we were just discussing what Chris should do to his car, and I think if he's gonna do any kind of weight reduction, he should pull everything in the rear and then just do the roll-on bed liner, because not only will it act as some sound deadening, but it'll also be black to match his interior. I also think you should get a different battery, because I know that battery weighs like 40 pounds. You can get a way smaller battery if you really want to, and that's an easy probably 10 pounds right away. If he's gonna be concerned about like the rear seat, I mean, that alone is probably less than the weight you could save with getting a smaller battery. I mean, all that stuff, I think basically from like the seats, the front seats back should all just be entirely stripped, and then from there bed liner. That way it's a little bit quieter, a little bit nicer to drive, but also taking as much weight out as possible, and then that way leaving basically everything that you see in the front nice. Obviously if you take out your airbags, that's going to be a good amount of weight. If you get a different steering wheel, you said you wanted to get a different wrapped one, but if you get rid of that one alone is going to weigh a lot more just because of the airbag.
I'm kind of rethinking the...
You could always pull the carpet and the sound deadening in the front and then just keep your floor mats, so that way it still looks nice, but it is getting rid of all that. And then imagine if you use the roll-on bed liner, that way it still is all black and everything.
My view up front, real nice, and then I would like to strip the back, but...
Yeah, but look, it's already, it's pretty much already cut right here, real nice all the way across.
We'll see.
All right. You can buy this stuff at like an auto parts store.
I mean, I still have it in theory. So
have what?
Like, what are you talking about? What stuff?
The roll-on bed liner, the nice stuff.
I don't know. I gotta think that over. I don't know if I want to full strip it or not.
And you're not full stripping. You're full stripping from your seats back. So, you know, nothing.
Everything from here back. If you're gonna do this, do everything.
Yeah, if you're taking out the rear seats, like it's already gonna look like not great. Just from there back, I mean, I'm pretty sure me and Frank are on the same page of just
you can see if you just took out these panels.
All of that, take it.
Take everything. I would say take all this shit out. Who's gonna? If you already have this done, might as well take everything else out.
Oh, we can do that right now.
Full oil cans.
Power steering.
Yeah, you should fix that issue.
No, I fixed it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I fixed it yesterday.
Oh.
ECUs, take that out.
And all the speakers. This big speaker.
An amp back there that weighs a lot.
This is it, maybe.
But look at all these speakers right here. This is speakers, right?
Music. I'm keeping that.
Dude,
yeah,
just boombox. Come on.
This probably is like 15 pounds.
At least. That's probably like 20 pounds. If you drop that whole thing.
You could probably take that out and sell good speakers.
This is like the upgraded sound system, so it has.
Oh, you and your Harman Kardon, except for your front speakers don't even work. So you should at least pull those. That's probably 5 pounds a piece.
Yeah.
No, they said it was 2 pounds a piece. So
Whatever. I was exaggerating.
It's not worth it.
I think we're done over there. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. You making fun of me? I'm gonna start working on this quarter again, and I'm gonna get this knocked out. This really shouldn't take long at all. Realistically, this really isn't built up that much. So I'm gonna finish this off. You can see there's a lot of overhang on this side, so I'm gonna have to try and shape this like I did on this side. You can see there's not a ton of overhang, but from this side, you can see it looks real nice and finished. So I'm gonna try and get it exactly like that today. And just to show you guys how much we really sand off, you guys say that I apply so much Bondo all the time, which I really do apply a lot of Bondo, but you gotta realize that the majority of it is sanded off. You can see I just swept the last time I was here, and this is all just from like last time I was here and today. And that goes to show just how much. I mean, that's a fat pile of just fresh Bondo dust. So all the stuff that I applied here is really just, you know, layering up very little at a time. You can see all the different layers, and that each one of those is a different wipe. So realistically, like you see each one of these different layers, that's a different wipe. And so imagine how many times I had to apply Bondo just to get it to where it is now. But anyways, it is ready for initial primer. Down here probably could use a little bit of help, but I'm not gonna focus on that right now. I'm gonna blow it off, wipe it off with some alcohol, and shoot this thing in initial primer. So I'm just waiting for them to get rid of, I think, the back seat belts right now. We're trying to take all this apart, having a little bit of trouble finding how to take off this back kind of panel here. That way we can access the top, which is kind of the retracting mechanism. But as soon as they're done with that, I think we're gonna all try and align the hood on this car, so that way I can actually start doing the bodywork on this thing. Main thing is, I just need to make sure that the gaps from the fender to the hood are good. That fender needs to come out a little bit. I think whenever I mounted it, it's a little tight here, and then also it looks like it's a little bit in. So I'm gonna pull this fender out a little bit, but only once the hood is mounted properly. And then from there, I think we're gonna have to adjust the height on here. You can see it's a little bit low there and a little bit low here. And then overall, it's a little bit low all the way across. So we are gonna have to raise it a little bit, and just with the bump stops there. From there, I'll be able to start working the fenders and starting to get this line all nice and smooth. We're gonna have to try and do some sort of transition from a little bit more boxy all the way into this a little bit more round body line. I will be rounding this a little bit. I just sanded this down, so that's why it's so flat right now. I think it'll go really quickly, especially this portion. That should be super easy. I'd say this portion is pretty easy. The only thing that's gonna be kind of difficult is getting this body line to kind of flow into the rest of the car. So we're gonna have to try and figure out how we're gonna do that. I have a general idea, but obviously, just like in the back, we kind of just had to feel it out on one side, figure it out, and then on the other side, it was much easier to finish. So I've gone ahead and sanded all of this down to bare metal. I'm not sure where I'm going to have this start to go into the edge here. I may start it all the way far as back as about here. I could do it all the way here, but I think that's going to be a little too gradual. I think I'm probably going to do it about here, and then from there see if that's going to be where I want it. And then if I don't like that, obviously I can just sand back more and then add more Bondo from here and build it up and have a very gradual body line all the way up until it goes flat. Are we going to align the hood right now? All right, so I guess it'll be a lot easier with us three to align this hood, and we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then from there I'll be able to start applying Bondo on these fenders and then start blocking the whole thing together. So while that's drying, I'm gonna go ahead and address why I'm not gonna work on the bumper right now. Mainly it's because I really don't want to, because it's gonna suck and I know it, but also because I'd like to jack this up and put it on jacks, and we only have one jack stand right now, so I'm gonna wait until I can get back home, get some jack stands. That way we can lift this thing up as high as possible and be safe while we're sanding on it and everything. Just being down this low and blocking it is gonna absolutely suck. This top, probably like 6 inches, really isn't that bad. We could probably knock that out in a couple of hours and make it perfect. But this bottom area needs a lot of Bondo. It's just super wavy at the bottom and probably needs to be built up a lot. But yeah, so pretty much that's kind of why I am not really working on this right now. I did block this a little bit. That's just because if you look at the side profile of this one, it's much fatter than the side profile of this one, and I like this one more than I like the other side, so we're gonna try and match that. I've been blocking that I probably blocked that for over half an hour, and it's just taking a really long time, so I'll get to it eventually. Also, I was blocking down here and just trying to get it so we have a nice even gap all the way across here. You can see that it's hitting from about here to here, and then also in the corner. So I want to make sure that this closes all the way before we really do any like final blocking. And then also I'm gonna have to keep that gap so that way we can know where to build this out to. That way we know where to build this out to match up with the trunk.